Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good morning. Good morning. 10:03. Colorado time, Eastern Slope, bright and sunny. I don't know what the temperature is. Supposed to get up to, I believe it said 68. Yesterday when I was driving around, I looked at my temperature gauge in the truck and it was 80. So I don't know. I'm expecting it's going to be a fairly warm day. I want to start off with apologizing for yesterday's podcast. I turned in not a complaint, but an issue. I use Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. They're very good. But a week ago, I had a podcast I put on, and when I went to play it back, there was no voice to it. I figured it was a mistake I made, but then yesterday, the best part of the podcast was the last 5 minutes when I was kind of putting everything together. And it was 29 minutes long, and it stopped at 24. So I don't know what that means. But at any rate, I put in not a complaint, but a request for Spreaker to take a look at what might possibly be going on. I don't know. So I'm just apologizing to you guys because you follow it along that far and then all of a sudden it drops off. That's not fair to you guys. So today we're going to make another shot at it, another attempt at it. I might be having problems with the app. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to go long today. I'm going to try to stay around 15 minutes, 18 minutes, and see if I can get a full podcast out of that. And then tomorrow we'll go back and lengthen it a couple minutes longer and see if we can get the problems resolved. So anyway, I'm still at home, and I had also heard yesterday on the podcast just a lot of road noise. I had the window down for a while, and clearly those earbuds of iPhone just pick up everything. So I am at home, and I am aware that it's very quiet in here, and there's very good sound, acoustics here. So I'm looking forward to hearing this one back when I finish, and I'm expecting the quality of the sound to be much, much better. So anyway, the podcast today is about, I don't know where I ran into it. I think I ran into it on the internet last night on a YouTube video. One of the guys that I listened to, but he was talking about, do you live life? Do you create your life? And where he was going with that conversation was so many people, and this is him talking and presenting his side of his thoughts, right? So many people seem to just go from day to day, and their lives are what comes to them each day. They get up in the morning and they understand that, certain things are going to happen. I'm going to get ready, I don't know, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, maybe a bite to eat, and head on out and maybe look at the internet and see what's happening in the world, and then have the world interacting with me. In other words, the world is doing what it's doing, and I'm receiving all of that rather than creating my own world and life each day. That makes sense? Pretty clear. And I was kind of intrigued with it. I'm drinking a little half and half coffee, so it's cooled down a little bit. But how many of us create our own lives each day? Or, as opposed to, how many of us go out and encounter life each day? Big difference, yeah, big difference. And one is going to make you feel a certain way, one's going to make you feel another way. If you're encountering life, you're sort of not in control, right? You're just reacting to what's being thrown at you, what's being given to you. Good or bad, I guess, right? As opposed to if you're creating life, your life, each day, I would think that's a pretty positive experience, right? You're basically saying, this is who I am, and this is how I live my life, and this is how my day is going to go. Now, we all understand, I mean, life doesn't go exactly the way that, we all envision from day to day or week to week, month to month. But for the most part, you're actively participating. Now, Dr. Joe talks about meditating before you get up and out of bed, right? And one of the things you meditate about is creating your day, creating your life, creating the new person, right? Becoming someone else. Envisioning what your life is like now, and more importantly, envisioning how you want your life to be. Creating it, creating your new personality, creating your new life. And do we do that? Do we do that? And which side of that are you on? And does that, in fact, affect your moods? Does it affect your productivity? Does it affect your success? Does it affect the work that you do, the relationships that you have, the places you go, the people you see? It's real easy, and I don't know if it was Jason Silva talking about this, or if it was Jay, what's his name? Jay, and his last name starts with an S. They're both very, very good, and they do podcasts daily. And I like to listen to both of them, but one of them was talking about this. But the point, I guess, is don't we have control over whether our lives are good or not based on what we think about? Right? So all of this stuff boils down to our thoughts create our personality, and our thoughts create our lives. So if we don't put any thought into our day, we're just randomly out there reacting to life being thrown at us. We're just living life randomly. Therefore, you're going to have probably more ups and downs. They're going to be more extreme. You might get really angry or upset or frustrated, or you might be elated and extremely happy. And when you're reacting to life, and life is just random, good gosh, it just seems like maybe the ups and downs are a little too sharp. And in turn, we become vulnerable. Vulnerable to receiving disease, sickness, ill health, diagnosis, trauma. Right? Because it's our thoughts. We're not putting anything into our day or into our personality. We're just allowing life to throw whatever it wants at us. Our thinking is probably not very positive at that point. Our thinking is probably more reactionary. And if you're walking around in a reactionary state, you probably have some anxiety. And if you have anxiety, you have stress. And if you have stress, you probably have depression. So again, I guess the point being, the takeaway is, are we creating our lives and are we creating our personalities each day? Not that we're in the way. We don't want to direct traffic to where, we're in our own way, because we know that doesn't work. But how much fun are you having in life? How creative are you being with your life? What kinds of things are you doing or building into your life each day that are rewarding? How much kindness are you putting out there? How much love are you putting out there? How much joy? Are you a blessing to people? Do you find people a blessing when you encounter them? So, they're on video, YouTube, so it was kind of cool because they got to, put some pictures and video behind them talking. But, they basically showed people that were living an adventurous life. Excuse me. Some were down in the Caribbean. Some were just here in the United States having a great life, living in some city, having relationships that count and mean something to them, having family that's important. And then they showed videos of people that were struggling. They're not creating their lives. They're not creating their own personalities. And his question to the audience that was watching the video was, how happy are you, and do you create your happiness, or does life create the happiness for you? And his response to it was, you create your happiness. You determine that. Do you want to sit around in a nursing home and roll around in your wheelchair and watch TV in the day room, and occasionally go to, I don't know, some kind of therapy or whatever the hell you go to? Or do you want to say, I just don't believe in all this disease stuff. And that's not part of my belief system. I don't, I'm not there. I believe that life is fun and enjoyable and has abundance, and relationships are rewarding and family are rewarding. It's so easy. It's so easy, he was saying, to just go down the other road that's negative. How quickly it is that you can just turn everything around, rationalize it, internalize it that, I'm not getting what I want. And then there you go, spiraling down into this negative abyss of your life. Or you can take an active participation in your life and each day create a life for you and for other people and the world that's rich and rewarding. I know that kind of sounds a little goofy and stuff, but it's not, you guys. It's really not. It's just plain life. I have people that do great things for me, nice things. They don't have to do this stuff. It's their nature. It's their personality that they built. It's their life that they built and designed to be of service and joy and a blessing to other people. And I do the same thing to other people, myself, each day. I look for that. And here's the sad part. Some people don't want to receive the goodness that you want to share with them. Some people don't want to accept that. So the video was pretty thought-provoking for me, and I just wondered, they didn't have any statistics on, how many people go down this path and how many go down this path, and, they were just saying that probably your life could be designed and creative in a much more rich and rewarding way, if we let the negative stuff go by. So anyway, I'm going to keep this podcast real short today. If this one turns out well, never know, I might do another one this afternoon, but I got to figure out what's going wrong. So it's Saturday, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Take care of one another, and I look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you. Bye.